So we're covering Romans over the next few weeks, and we're in our series called We Are Rome, and we're doing something cool and something different. Every week we're asking people to text in questions or thoughts or whatever off the sermon to 22333 and put in St. John 115 and anything you want. It's anonymous, and so we're covering some of the questions this week, and so we hopefully get some more from you. This week is Romans 10, and we have a few questions off that.
And also, if people would like to email, they're certainly welcome to email the questions, and that email address is always on the bottom of the sermon notes in the front of the bulletin.
All right, we look forward to getting more. Our last question for the day is: in your sermon, you mentioned that people who are very lost are very set in their ways. Why do you think it is that at times you see sinful community that can be some of the most welcoming and embracing communities out there?
Right. Well, they want to sustain themselves. You know, that's part of the deal. That's how you remain, is getting around people who think like you and encouraging that kind of groupthink and so forth. And frankly, I mean, that's part of the perceived and maybe even criticism of the church. Well, you're just around people who say yes, yes, you know, rather than really embracing the tough questions. But I think it's part of the whole, you know, Paul mentions it earlier in Romans where he says, you know, not only do they participate in these kinds of activities, but they think it's weird that you don't, you know. So there's a sense of come join me and confirm me in what I believe or what I disbelieve, if you will. So it's part of that. It's part of that idea of wanting to just maybe have a little bit more permission. It always feels, you know, we say misery loves company. So does a rebellious spirit. You want other people along with you so you don't feel so bad about what you're doing. The church, in a real sense, ought to be the same way, only on the other side. We need to be able to accept people and love people in the midst of their struggles. Never to condone, but at the same time to realize that, you know, God may be working on them in a long-term project that is just beginning. And to expect somebody to come in into the fellowship and into a place where they're just, you know, starting to ask the questions, to be completely understanding that completely is not always a valid thing.
Yeah.
I can remember when I first went to the seminary, first day I'm on campus, but his classes hadn't even started yet. I met this guy, and he started grilling me about this, that, and the other. I was just like, wait a minute, I'm just getting here. You know, give me a chance.
Yeah.
And so we need to understand that people may be just getting there and give them a chance to really ask the questions, because that's how we grow.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thank you again for all your questions you sent in. Some great ones this week. This coming Sunday, feel free to text them in. We'd love to get some more, and we'll see you all next week.